Howdy y'all, I'm Lex Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. Still working on my base. I got my cement mixer in place that I started making last session. I'm still waiting on my chemical station to finish, my chemistry station. I put a bunch of stone in the forge, and I put a bunch of stone in the mixer. So now I need just regular stone, because my plan is that we'll try and get some more of these pillars cemented in, give them a little more strength. I also should probably get some more blade traps around those pillars. So, when working on this, we played some Starfinder this weekend. It was pretty fun. I have not played pretty much anything except for 5th edition D&D. A long time ago I played some, I think, 2nd edition or advanced D&D. I'm never clear on that because there's a difference. There's a difference between 2nd edition D&D and advanced D&D and 2nd edition advanced D&D. I think I know it's advanced D&D. I just don't know if it's 1st edition or 2nd edition. But so played some of that a long time ago. But my most recent forays into D&D have all been 5th edition. Sorry, there's something on my mouse. I was trying to get it off. I don't know what was on my button there. They're super shiny spots on my mouse buttons where I click all the time. I got the Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle had the physical starter kit in it, and so we got that. I thought about giving it to my nephew as Christmas present. I probably mentioned that if I talked about it before. I decided I didn't want to wait that long to check it out. So I just got it out so we could look at it. And so he decided he wanted to run it this weekend. It was a single mission. 5th edition starter kit is a whole campaign. So I do feel like... Oh, this is bigger than I thought it was. Dang it. You know, I had it sideways in my other spot. Oh, man. Well, guess I'll have to make another one of these. He asked if we could play it yesterday, and so we did get into that. Cement mixer. I need 2 more springs, 6 more parts, more forged iron. Spring, forged iron, mechanical parts. Oh, engine. And it's pretty fun. I've never played... I don't think I've ever played that version of D&D before. And so it was noticeably different, but it was really similar too at the same time. A lot of the rules felt the same. A lot of the stats were the same. I did feel that the low-level characters that we started with, because we used the pre-gen first level characters, they were much more much more robust than first level D&D characters. Usually with a first level D&D character, you get a little backstory. You choose your class, which kind of chooses your starting equipment, and maybe you'll get a couple of abilities, some really basic ones, and then you're out the door and into the thick of it. And the characters in this Starfinder, we used the pre-gen characters, and they were like that. You had your basic starting equipment, I guess. I don't know. I haven't looked to see what a basic starting equipment looks like for Starfinder. Um, but they also had some extra abilities that you wouldn't usually have in regular D&D. Uh, uh, you don't start with feats in 5th edition usually. I mean, you can. There are variant versions, or you can play. You can play that way where everybody starts with a feat. But feats are usually something that greatly alters or improves a character, and so I don't think the feats necessarily that I had were all that great, but some of the other ones had like 3 times a day you can heal people, and if the amount you heal goes over how much healing they need, then you receive that healing, right? That's a pretty powerful feat to start out with at level 1. um, my feat was uh, I was better at um, survival technology and something else. Uh, but they were pretty big bonuses. And I mean, at level 1, I wound up with a +10 to my technology dice roll because of my class. And I was just like, this feat is not overpowered, but definitely focuses, what the character was doing. And then you also usually get some class ability or some background abilities. And so I did get a background ability where I could get a bonus to my rolls for a mark because I had a bounty hunter background, and so whatever character was my mark, the person I was looking for, I would get a bonus. And so that was cool. And then I did have a racial feature that I found to be pretty fun. My guy was a rodent thing that uh, had um, cheek pouches like a squirrel or something, and uh, they were so big, according to the paper, that you know what, I must have scrapped that or something. I don't see my thing anywhere. Do you have enough to make one yet? Cooking pot. Yeah. And so it was my backpack. That's what they said. Your cheek pouches can fit up to the same amount as a backpack. And so I definitely played up. That is not my cooking area. My cooking area is over here. I definitely played up the fact that I kept all my stuff in my mouth. Being a mechanic in the game, I I had even my tool set was weird. My tool set was uh, a hodgepodge of parts that I had picked up and wasn't an actual yeah toolkit. It counted as a toolkit, but because of my background, it was bits and pieces of stuff that I had collected over the years, and so I thought that was funny. Um, and uh, and then what are classes we have? We had the bug healer. Oh no, I should have put this in there before that. Um, bug healer and uh, lizard man soldier and human envoy. Um, I didn't actually hear much of the other two characters. Uh, the one was the one was um, something about a plague. Uh, and that's why they were a healer. And then that was the bug one. And then the envoy was apparently a ex-pirate, and so uh, that did come up in our game too. The fact that they were pirates, because we ran into a pirate, and yeah, it was interesting. I liked it. And then my guy's background was bounty hunter. He saw bounty hunter once and decided that was for him, and packed up all his stuff and left his planet. And I did not hear what the background was for the soldier. Um, I should get some better lights out here. What's it take to make spotlight? Headlight, electric parts, duct tape, iron. Headlight, electric parts, duct tape, and then I've got iron on me. Give me like probably 2 of those, right? And so the game took place on a space station, but like a massive, gigantic space station where people live their entire lives. And it'd been there so long that the main Taurus was for rich people, and then poor people lived in the central shaft called the Spike. And the farther you got away from the top of the space station where the Taurus was, the worse it got. And to the point where the lower levels were called the Ghost Sector. Uh, and Ah, okay. And then let me get my wire tool. No. No. Why didn't you? This is going to ruin this. I don't know why they didn't grab the first time. Weird. Okay. And so somebody was coming up into the nicer sections. And wiping out, stealing stuff, mechanical parts and stuff, and killing. Is this on? Yeah. And then killing people who occasionally got in the way. And so we were, I guess, sent to take care of it. And so when we started, there were just three of us. There was the envoy, the mechanic, and the healer. I don't remember what her class was called. I don't think she was a technomancer. Um, Maybe it was technomancer. I don't think it was technomancer. It might have been. So the first thing we did was we got attacked by space goblins, and we took them out pretty easy. I could not hit anything. Every time I rolled, I failed my roll. It was driving me crazy. And we had to figure out how combat worked because it's different in regular D&D. When you attack with a weapon, you get you roll with the stat associated with the weapon. So, like if it's a strength-based weapon like a longsword, then you use strength. If it's longsword might be versatile. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. Or uh, maybe you work with. Now, one of these is medicine. Maybe you work with some of the specialty of your class, like charisma or something, but usually it's associated with the weapon. And so, for the most part, if it's bash or slash, it's strength. If it's ranged or pokey, it's it's dexterity. And so we had to figure out a little bit with that because, like, the ranged weapons in Starfinder do not get bonuses to their damage, and so that's a bit different than what I'm used to. So I was trying to think what we started with. I know the soldier started with this massive axe that did like a D10 plus 3 damage because of their strength bonus, right? And then here's my guy. I've got a flamethrower is my starting weapon. It only reaches 15 feet, and Then that was the next thing we had to try and figure out, because in D&D, if you attack with a ranged weapon against a creature next to you, in 5th edition D&D, I mean, uh, if you attack a creature with a ranged weapon and they're standing next to you, there's a penalty because they're too close. They're too close to hit with a ranged weapon. And, I mean, they're not too close to hit with a ranged weapon, but it's harder to aim and keep yourself safe with a ranged weapon up close, right? I mean, it makes sense. And so I could not find rules related to that for Starfinder. But yes, we killed the goblins and looted their bodies, of course. And so then, you're still not done. Wow, that stone and clay is taking forever. Let me add a little more to it here. And then we ran into a pirate who, I don't know what the deal was with the pirate, because, like I said, my nephew, he was running it, and the pirate was like super friendly for some reason, um, which I didn't really understand what was going on there. Not that I didn't take advantage of it. I definitely bought the grapple, which I never used, but I bought the grapple for way less than what it was worth from him. And so that was. And then we ran into this thing, I don't remember what it was called, but the lights on the floor were flickering. And so we got to the reactor room for the floor. And so, of course, I did all my mechanic techno stuff, checking the data logs and whatnot. And there's a creature in the reactor draining all the power, so I shut the reactor down to force it out of the reactor. And that was a pretty tough fight. I was trying to think. I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the fight where it did a cone attack and knocked out 2 of the people on our team. And so after we did that, then we went and fought a big cat creature, and then I used a grenade against the next batch of goblins. That was pretty fun. The grenades in the game are interesting. You pick a spot, and then you roll, and you have to roll higher than a 10 for it to land where you want it to. And then it does damage to all the squares around where it lands. And so I hit a frag grenade in the middle of the goblins, and we ran another batch of goblins. And so I took out 2 of the goblins, and so that was cool. And then I think after that, we found an abandoned shop that had chemicals all over the floor. And I tried to use this chem analyzer thing I had, but my nephew could not translate that into gameplay. So I could not tell what the chemicals were, or what they might do with my chemical analyzer. And then we had to fight a robot, and then we had to fight Steel Talon, which turned out to be a robotic dragon. And so that was it. That was the whole thing. It was just a few rooms with some different bad guys. I thought it was fun. I like the slight change up to it being sci-fi. I do disagree though that like the dexterity did not get applied to your weapons, and so like we got the warrior has this I don't remember what it was called, a Dawshock or something like that, and it was basically a plasma axe, and they were doing 1d10 plus 3 damage, and then my flamethrower would do 1d6 damage in if I could hit what I was aiming at, and it would be a cone out in front of it for 15 feet. But then the Envoy had a laser pistol that only did 1d4 damage. I just felt that's a big jump. 1d4 one time to 1d10 plus 3. Like, I get why there's a plus 3. I didn't get why there wasn't a plus 2 for the Envoy, or why I didn't get my plus 3 to my dexterity bonus. I rolled so bad that whole game. I could not hit anything. With the grenade I did. I eventually switched to a laser pistol, and then immediately after, I'm like, all right, I'll take that laser pistol that we found. Immediately after that, we found this really good weapon, and I was like, oh man, I should have taken that. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And my nephew, of course, is trying to. Who knows if anything will come of it, but he's trying to plan out what we're gonna do. Except he doesn't sound like he's gonna follow the rules, so it's not gonna be Starfinder. He said something about ships, and I was like, well, you have to look up in the book to see if they got ship prices in there. I know they've got some ships listed, or you'll have to figure out how much a ship costs. And so then he comes back to me and he says, yeah, I found out how much a ship costs. I'm like, oh yeah, what's a ship cost? $13 billion. I'm like, what? He's like, well, I figure that since I couldn't find prices on the spaceships in the game, I'd look up in real life what a ship cost, and an aircraft carrier costs $13 billion. I'm like, dude, I had 500 credits when we were done with our first mission there, so I'm not seeing us earn $13 billion. Just to tell you, not seeing us getting that much to get a ship, because he wanted us to run a colony on a planet, he said. So I don't know. I might just print off some. I bought the bundle. I've got a whole bunch of PDFs with the adventures in them, so I might just print off some of those. Have him go with that. Well, I got a bit done here in my base. It was nighttime, so I didn't really want to go out and do too much scavenging, but I did want to get some more supplies together for. There's so much stone in here. And clay. Still so long before that's done outputting stuff. Anyways, so I think I'm going to call it here for today. So that, be riding the small things, leading the light. I will talk to you later.